चीजें हैं जिससे ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने से लोग पैसा भी बना सकते हैं. एक एंगल से देखें तो एनी बिजनेस इज मेकिंग मनी बाय सॉल्विंग समवन्स प्रॉब्लम. So Sobus is about social business. So today's event is about different parts of the ecosystem. सबको साथ में काम करने से हो सकता है. कभी शायद एक एग्जांपल लो, वेस्ट का प्रॉब्लम है. अभी हम आ रहे थे, इतना अनट्रीटेड वेस्ट और प्लास्टिक गिरा हुआ है रास्ते पे. बट अगर उसको कुछ करना है हमको, तो उसके लिए क्या चाहिए होगा? पहले सॉल्यूशन टेक्नोलॉजी वाला बोलेगा कि हमें टेक्नोलॉजी सॉल्यूशन, उसको कुछ मशीन बनाते, उसको पायरोलिसिस करते, कुछ करते. वो प्लास्टिक उठाने जाओ, कोई तो आके रोक देगा तुमको, तुम्हें ये अथॉरिटी नहीं है. तो फिर हमें लोकल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का सपोर्ट चाहिए होगा. तो दैट इज व्हाई वी हैव द कलेक्टर एंड द ZP CEO टू फैसिलिटेट दैट. देन उससे क्या कर सकते हैं? उसको ऑर्गेनिक वेस्ट है, इनऑर्गेनिक है, तो ऑर्गेनिक वेस्ट का क्या कर सकते हैं? खाद बना सकते हैं. एग्रीकल्चरल टेक्नोलॉजीज, वी हैव डॉक्टर सुशील देसाई फ्रॉम द एग्रीकल्चर स्कूल. इसका कुछ प्रोडक्ट बनाते हैं हम, इसको कहीं तो रीच करना है, उसके लिए कस्टमर मिल सके, तो उसके लिए आउटरीच अगर करना है तो बिजनेस के लोग हैं जिनको ऑलरेडी बिजनेस और डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है, उसमें मदद कर सकते हैं. अगर उसके लिए कुछ ग्लोबल टेक्नोलॉजीज चाहिए कि स्केल ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम इज, वो हम कहाँ से एक्सेस करें. There's someone like Mr. Arjun Malhotra and Mr. Indrajit Chatejee who are very well connected globally. तो ऐसे सब स्टेक होल्डर्स को साथ लेके आके एक पहले डायलॉग और उसके बाद एक्शन शुरू करना आज की इवेंट का उद्देश्य है. So the idea is not we come here, discuss and clap and go. Idea is this is more like a kick off, so that all of us start thinking in this direction and then working in this direction. With that context, क्योंकि कुछ लोग पूछ रहे थे हम किस लिए आए हैं, तो ये बेस है. तो what I would request is, given the time we have, we can start with like maybe 3 to 5 minutes at most from 3 of the stakeholders locally, कि यहाँ पर challenges क्या है, opportunity क्या है, और कोई suggestion हो कि ये करने से change हो सकता है 3 से 4 मिनट में ही. और अगर किसी ने वो ऑलरेडी बता दिया हो पहले, तो रिपीट ना करें, वो हम नोट कर लेते हैं. ठीक है. सो वी कैन जस्ट सर्कल अराउंड द रूम एंड अर्जुन probably in the end I'll ask you to give from your experience of building ecosystems how you would suggest what direction we move. So I can start with Abhinav Goel ji.
Good afternoon everyone, distinguished panelists on the dais and all the distinguished people sitting in front of me. I would just like to highlight from the district point of view and from the government's point of view what are the problems that presently we are facing, and probably where innovation, entrepreneurship and social innovation specifically can help us in solving those problems. If we look 2023, we are now presently celebrating 75 years of independence, and Honorable Prime Minister has this vision that by 2047, when we'll be celebrating 100 years of independence, we should be able to solve maximum amount of problems that we are facing presently. In this regard, we are also planning a lot of things, and we have actually envisaged a district strategic plan which outlines a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan and a 25-year plan as to how we need to approach in all the different sectors that we have in the district, be it the agriculture sector, be it the allied sectors like animal husbandry, fisheries, etc., be it the industry and the manufacturing sector, be it the service sector, and associated sectors like health, education, environment, etc. If we look at Dhule district specifically, I would say that our district is facing a lot of social problems per se, which are specific to the district. There are a lot of opportunities also which the district offers, and there are some general problems wherein the society and the innovation entrepreneurs can kick in. One social problem that we are facing presently, and I think CEO Zilla Prashid will also agree with me, is that we have a lot of child dropout rate from the schools. a lot of our girl students don't actually study beyond 7th and 8th class. They usually drop out, and then it also results in early child marriage, which is the second social problem that we are facing, especially in the tribal areas, and because it being a border district, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, etc. So these are two big social problems, I would say, that we are facing presently. So can the Innovation Society or the Sobus Innovation Center, can they help us in coming in giving us some solutions? The solutions can be technical in nature. The solutions can be social in nature. They can be awareness programs, etc. Also, which can be built in with the technological solutions, and can we somehow actually reduce the dropout rate and reduce the child marriage that we are facing presently. One of the focus areas that the administration presently is focusing on in all the projects, sustainability is a prime concept. The government has now come up with a concept of circular economy. The concept of circular economy is कि जो आप बनाएंगे, जो उससे निकलेगा, वो आप फिर से यूज करके उसको वापस यूज करें और कुछ भी वेस्ट नहीं हो. The kind of thinking now which is going in the, how can in every project, in every sector, can we inbuild this concept of circular economy and ensure that zero wastage is happening and environment is impacted to the minimum. Now there are solutions available. I just got to know yesterday that there is a girl from Shirpur who has started a small startup in which she is collecting the flower waste from the cities, and then she is processing it and using it to make some lipstick and some other items. So waste, just like Digvijay sir said, that waste is a big problem in the city, especially if you look at Dhule city, small Nagarpalika, and even some big villages. But we don't presently have the processing capacity, the collection capacity, and what to do with the waste that we are generating. So, are there some innovative solutions that the innovators can give us, the district administration, and then probably we can take that forward and we can collaborate and provide certain solutions to the citizens also. I would also just state another aspect that presently India is a young population, but eventually we will age, and therefore healthcare for the elderly and palliative care is becoming all the more important, and it's a big challenge because presently we don't have the wherewithal to actually tackle all the elderly care that is to be provided. So can we have some solutions in that regard that would really help in the future, and that would be 20 years from the present times, and definitely it will help us help the district administration also to collaborate, and we can have some solutions in those aspects which will definitely help. The district presently has a lot of strengths. Agriculture is our strength, human capital is our strength. We have a lot of potential for solar and wind energy, that is our strength. The district lies on the intersection of two highways, therefore industrialization is a strength. Patel Saab hai yahan pe, we have a textile park here. Another, I think, this textile testing unit is also coming up here. So a lot of synergies are already present. How can we harness these synergies? How can we collaborate and probably solve these social, industrial as well as environmental problems going forward? So that would be our aim. Thank you.
Thank you. I will ask Shubham Gupta ji to this so that all the points around the government and administration kind of come together. Then we can have the question.
Thank you so much, Digvijay ji. I basically want to focus on two important aspects. One, wherein the industry and the government can come together. And I think the solution to your problem and our problem is the same. So, for example, your problem is that you're not getting the people who are qualified or skilled enough to cater to your requirements. आपको जिस level का आदमी चाहिए, जिस तरह का skilling उसका होना चाहिए, वो locally नहीं मिल रहा. You are either struggling to find it from Gujarat or from Bombay or from Pune, or we are sending our kids to Pune and Bombay and getting them trained there and then coming back from there. Right? हमारा भी problem वही है that we have a lot of human capital which we are not able to train because we are not able to find the synergy. What is the requirement? and how can we make them suitable for industry needs. So I think one way where we can all collaborate and for the social good also and for individual business and overall growth of the district as well as the state and country also is that we need to identify places wherein we can collaborate on the scaling of the human capital. Wherein, like for example, we were talking about yesterday while we are taking a run right now with Malhotra ji also, we were talking about 8th standard kids doing coding in Python and all those languages. As much as fancy as it may sound, we understand now we live in the world of AI and ChatGPT, right? So we cannot run away from technologies. So the only solution that we have now is to train our kids into those technologies, and that is why we were, I think, a couple of days ago, I was talking to Digvijay ji about starting a coding class for girl students here. That will not only cater to the scaling requirements of the businesses, but also we will also be able to curb the problem of child marriage, which sir was mentioning right now. So I think we need to build around the requirements of the industry as well as what problem can be avoided by taking up those initiatives which are the requirements of the industry. That is number one. Number two is, like sir said, that now we need to understand our strengths. So our strength is textile. For example, if you're talking about Shirpur, right? So now through district administration, I think sir is now pushing a lot for silk production. We're trying to target about 400 acres of silk production in the district in the coming 1 year. If we are able to do that, then probably that we assume that we already have a ready market for that silk, right? Because one way or the other, the textile industry that we have in Shirpur, they will be able to accommodate the silk that will be produced, and we'll be able to complete the value chain. That is the foremost problem that we face whenever we're talking about generating livelihood in the district. When we, for example, right now we have about 1,50,000 women who are part of the 15,000 odd self-help groups that we have in the district across Umed and Marvin. The major problem that we are facing now is they have excellent products. The world is moving towards a place where we are really getting educated about organics. We want to get the product from where it is originating without any processing and everything, because we're getting conscious about our health requirements. But the problem is we're not able to push those products to the market. So I think a couple of days back I was talking to the industry head of I think Dhule Taluka, Mr. Bang, and we were discussing about setting up a packaging unit and a branding unit in the district, wherein we are able to provide a standard packaging marketing to our women self-help group members, wherein they are able to cater to the rather compete with the products which are of standard quality and maybe cater to these online platforms wherein so dikhta hai wo bikta hai. So we need to sort of identify ways where we are able to understand the requirements of the market while at the same time catering to the social problems that we see around and the solutions that both of us can see as one to cater to that problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And very well put together what are the challenges. Since the term, before we go to questions, since the term industry came up a few times, as a representative of the local industry, योगेश जी, आपकी तरफ से आपको क्या challenges, और usually ये भी होता है when we are doing an ecosystem कि many players somehow don't have that interface or the trust कि ये local problem solve करने के लिए कैसे काम करें. तो इन्होंने बताया इंडस्ट्री का हेल्प हो सकता है, वैसे इंडस्ट्री को भी ऐसे प्रॉब्लम्स टैकल करने के लिए कुछ गवर्नमेंट या दूसरा कुछ बाधाएं होंगी. तो आपका एक्सपीरियंस से बता सकते हैं, शिरपुर में इतने सालों से आप ये कर रहे हैं, कि स्ट्रेंथ्स क्या है, वीकनेस क्या, अपॉर्चुनिटी क्या है, 2 से 4 मिनट.
थैंक यू दिग्विजय जी. स्ट्रेंथ, वैसे अपनी स्ट्रेंथ बोले तो मैन पावर यही अपना स्ट्रेंथ है सबसे बड़ा आज के डेट में. बट जो प्रॉब्लम हम लोग फेस करते हैं कि जो टेक्निकली उसको जो आना चाहिए वो नहीं आता है लोकल आदमी को, उसकी जगह पे हम लोग बाहर से कोई आदमी लाते हैं, वो ज़्यादा पैसा लेके चले जाता है, जबकि वो पैसा अपने को ऐसा लगता है कि अपने गांव के आदमी के पास आना चाहिए, तो अपना भी इकोनॉमिक्स सारी तरह से सुधर जाए. बट वो होता नहीं एग्जैक्टली. उसके लिए अवेयरनेस थोड़ा बढ़ना चाहिए. गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से भी कुछ स्कीम्स आती है, लेकिन वो जो लास्ट लेवल तक जाना चाहिए वो नहीं जाती है आज भी. उसके लिए कुछ गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से कुछ मोटिवेशन मिले या कुछ ट्रेनिंग सेंटर्स वगैरह का कुछ बढ़ावा मिले तो उससे काफी फर्क पड़ सकता है कि लोकल एम्प्लॉयमेंट बढ़ सकता है.
We have Dr. देसाई, जो एकेडमिक्स भी है कि बहुत सारी चीजें अभी इसके लिए टेक्नोलॉजी सॉल्यूशन चाहिए होगा, स्किलिंग चाहिए होगा, एजुकेशन चाहिए होगा. तो यहाँ तो अमरीश भाई ने इतना सारा आप सबके कोऑपरेशन से बड़ा इकोसिस्टम एजुकेशन के लिए सेटअप किया है, बट अभी क्या हो रहा है इस समय में, एजुकेशन के बाद एक लेवल ऑफ स्किल्स, वो हैंड्स ऑन स्किल हो या टेक्निकल स्किल्स हो चाहिए एक्चुअली एम्प्लॉयबल बनने के लिए या एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेट करने के लिए एज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर. तो देसाई सर इज हेडिंग he is the dean of the agriculture college in NMIMS शिरपुर कैंपस, और ऑलरेडी हमारा काफी सारा डिस्कशन लास्ट 6-8 महीने में हो रहा है कि वैल्यू एडिशन कैसा कर सके. तो जस्ट 2-4 मिनट सर एक ओवरव्यू आपका थॉट प्रोसेस इस एंगल में, और आप क्या कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं और आप उस एंगल से बताएं.
थैंक यू वेरी मच. आप सब लोग को मुझे ये अवसर देने के लिए धन्यवाद. एग्रीकल्चर एंड अलाइड सेक्टर्स अगर धुले डिस्ट्रिक्ट में लेते हैं तो धुले डिस्ट्रिक्ट का मेजर फोकस यही एरिया है. एग्रीकल्चर एंड डिस्ट्रिक्ट इज एग्रेरियन नेचर, लेकिन ये डिस्ट्रिक्ट का ये कॉन्फ़िगरेशन ऐसा है कि 2 ब्लॉक में आपको 500-550 मिलीमीटर रेनफॉल आता है, बाकी 2 ब्लॉक में आपको 700 से 900 मिलीमीटर रेनफॉल आता है. ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी इज अनदर चैलेंज. Shirpur block, if you take it, about more than 50% is tribal community. They are mobile workers most of the times. तो इन सब में होता क्या है कि अभी हमने मार्च महीने से अब तक आप देखेंगे तो हमने एक टोमेटो क्राइसिस देखा, उसके बाद अनियन क्राइसिस देखा, अभी फिर से टोमेटो क्राइसिस बनते जा रहा है. क्यों हो रहा है? इसका मतलब यह है कि हम जो वैल्यू एडिशन के कंपोनेंट जो है, इस बारे में कितना तक हम ध्यान दे पा रहे हैं. अगर पानी तापी रिवर अगर बरेल से जाता है, धुले डिस्ट्रिक्ट में ओनली 10% ऑफ द एरिया इज सेकंड टाइम सोन विथ इरिगेशन. 110% एरिया that's all. As compared to the other districts where it has touched even 160-170%. So considering these things, where are we lagging behind? अगर देखते हैं तो one is the challenges are the value addition, the clusters based production systems and processing systems. क्योंकि जब मैं एक टोमेटो प्रोसेसर के पास गया था तो वो बता रहा था, साहब मेरा टोमेटो 8 महीने आता है, मैंगो प्रोसेसिंग के लिए रखा था उन्होंने, 2 महीने मैंगो आता है, 10 महीने में क्या करूं मेरा प्लांट को. So can we make it a multi-purpose processing unit so that they process other than tomato, other than mango during the rest of the year, so that that labor stays there and then entire unit is viable. Then livelihood opportunities. When we are talking about the malnutrition, protein malnutrition or the food security aspects, I was talking to our Disan people. Can we make the tofu what we are making it, which is 3 times cheaper than paneer, and a very good protein source to combat the protein malnutrition among the rural women and children. Because 70% of the agricultural jobs are done by women, but they are malfed. So how do we meet this? Or the honey roasted soybean. Soybean is a primary crop here. Soybean roasted honey roasted soybean or salt roasted soybeans. मूंगफली खाने के बजाय थोड़ा सोयाबीन खाएंगे बच्चे. तो इस तरह से, so these are some of the opportunities which are available from the education system. Yesterday I was talking to Mr. Arjun Malhotra also. Where we place the students at the starting point will be the important aspect if we want to grow them from there onwards. So this is where we need some change in our maybe academic systems as such. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So thank you for that, sir. Education का बात हुआ, and we have Shirpur as an education hub. So Mr. Sharma, you're the CEO of all the campuses. So what are the things, challenges, and opportunities that you see with the education scenario ecosystem here?
Thank you. First of all, let me tell you that we Shirpur together, when we combine all our students, we are having almost a 35,000 strength. And all these kids, they are looking forward to putting themselves up on a pedestal whereby they can come up to a livelihood status where they will be well off in their life. Now, when we were discussing things, even when we were going around, you would have seen that all my kids, they have come up with some of the other projects. And those projects, majority of them can come up to a level. But then what is happening is, we are educating them. Students are coming up with ideas. They are trying to make startups. The government is declaring its own policies at some other place. Then there are people like Mr. Arjun Malhotra who have a lot of things to contribute to the society, but then we have never, the way we have gathered here, we have never gathered as such. So nobody knows the way forward. Maybe they know how to pull the kid when he comes up to a particular level, but then the kid has not been able to walk up to him. Sir, both the people from the government side, the DM is here, the CEO is here, both of them, they know about various opportunities, but those opportunities have not floated down to the people who are sitting there on the benches there. So these people, the one good thing that we are beginning today is the beginning of this meeting and this creation of knowledge power or sharing of experiences and sharing of opportunities that we do, which is a must for us. Not everybody can on his own go and create his own identity. We need an environment. We need somebody enabling the environment. And we, the enablers who are sitting here, definitely have to be with them. People on the industrial side, if they tell us actually what is required, we have the ways and means to do the training. The government can fund us, we can do the training, they will get the manpower. The circle is solved. Say for example, sir was telling me about the plastic thing that you were discussing. So what we have started is we've created an ecosystem in which we are creating plastic. All my students are creating plastic. We've started a Sagar Mitra project whereby the plastic is being collected, then that plastic is being shuttled to a place somewhere in Shirpur. And from there we are collecting tons of plastic and giving it to the cement industry where they are doing the needful. So in a way we are trying to solve your problem, but you know the actual solution to the problem is when you get a proper waste disposal system in the city. That waste disposal system in the city will require government affiliation and government funding. Unless and until the government funds the system, if that system is funded the way it is done in Indore, there will be a number of people who will find employability as well. तुमको काम भी मिल जाएगा, आपका सीवेज डिस्पोजल का काम भी हो जाएगा, but that fund, the technical know-how has to come from the government side, and that idea propagation has to come from your side, which is still not known to people. For example, we were just discussing, you said silk manufacturing. None of my farmers, none of my students here, they also belong to farmer communities. None of them know that there is a possibility of doing sericulture here. If they know that there is a possibility of doing sericulture, somebody will come out and will do that sericulture thing, will start. And once if it becomes a hit, everybody will get into it. So what I'm trying to say is, we have till date, we have not thought of creating this environment till date, the one that we are discussing. Nobody of the stature of a Mr. Arjun Malhotra has come down to this place, and we have thought of Shirpur as a potential unit which can create such kind of hub. But then let me tell you, you are very well aware, we have so many colleges, we have so many students, we have entrepreneurs among them. They are in isolation doing bits and pieces. If you tell me to speak, I can go endlessly what my students have created. The number of prototypes that they have created, the number of the tournaments that they would have won, the science exhibitions and other things and so on. But then what I want is this thing should continue in future as well. When we meet next time, we should be prepared with what the government has come up for the kids. The kids should know what are the possibilities being extended to them from the government side. What are the possibilities which the industry can give them? The industry also should come up with possibilities that they can hand over to our kids. And then we as academicians, we can fit into the system, our children can fit in, and it will be a solving of a proper jigsaw. Since I have only 1 minute, I think that's all that I could tell you. But then, yes,
but this is very insightful because बहुत बार क्या होता है कि इतना सारा हम अपना मेहनत कर रहे हैं, बट सब लोग अलग अलग जगह खोद रहे हैं अपना अपना 5-5 फुट, बट अगर पानी लगना है एक जगह खोदेंगे ना तो 50 फुट में कुछ मिल जाएगा. What I will want to draw on is the experience of Arjun Malhotra ji. Arjun has set up institutions, set up ecosystems, set up businesses in India and in the US. So truly global and end-to-end across industries also. So with what all you have been hearing, Arjun, can you give us some pointers, the broad directional things and maybe some specific inputs also on how we should take this forward?
So I'll try and answer some of these questions and then give you my thinking of how we can try and solve some of these problems. So the first thing I want to mention is that government is an enabler. They're not going to solve your problem. You have to solve your problem. You ask them what they can do to enable you to solve your problem. So I think by asking them to solve the problem is very unfair because they have to look at the whole district. You want to look at Shirpur. Right. So I just wanted to make that point that, there used to be a time when I was growing up where we blamed everything on the government. But I've come to realize over time that they are an enabler. They can help you do what you want to do, but they can't do what you want to do. So just keep that in mind. The second thing I wanted to mention was when you let's look at your education system. How many children are dropping out in high school before they finish class 12? How many children are finishing class 12 and don't get into college because they don't have the marks? Now, whatever that number, what we have to try and do is think of how I can get them gainfully employed in this block or in this district. I would say block, just look at Shirpur as your block. And the number wouldn't be too large. I think you'll be talking 20, 30,000 or some number like that. And that is not an insolvable problem. If we put our head down to it over a few years, we should be able to solve it. The other point was about the girl child being educated. Now, my experience, and I know Professor Amartya Sen did a project in Bengal. What happens is that the teacher is not coming to the school, and the parent doesn't want the girl child to go there and hang around with the boys when there's no teacher. Right. Now, I don't know if we can force teachers to come to schools, but my gut is you get more women teachers, they'll be more regular. And second is, even if the teacher is not coming to school, today I have technology to do remote learning. And I should find a way to teach that girl at home. And I fully agree that if we educate our girls, a lot of our problems that are associated with rural areas would get reduced. They may not go away, but they would get reduced. So I think that's the other thing. The other point is, where I come from, the problems that they're looking at the district and the country level are huge, right? That's why you're talking 25-year plans, etc., etc. To solve a problem, you've got to get it to a manageable size. As engineers, we are always told if you've got 100 variables, you want to solve a problem, get it to the 4 or 5 key variables, and then do a suboptimal solution. So like we have that water table solution here, which I think is a model that should be replicated all over the country, definitely in other blocks and in other districts in Maharashtra. Why don't we look at two things? One is this waste disposal. Let's become the first city where I identify my waste into recycling, disposable, compostable and other waste, and then plan it accordingly. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, but if we start educating people, someone starts putting in those 3 different things, get people to do it, over a period of time, yes, people will start. Everyone wants their own health to be good. You're unlikely to find too many people who want to defy the system. There'll always be some. But I think that's one thing. We can become the leading block or city in the country where everyone will talk about it. And the second thing I think is we've got a hospital coming up, a 900-bed hospital. It should be operational in a year. Very impressive what their plans are. A hospital means people have to come to the hospital. Travel from remote areas is not that easy. Sometimes there are no real roads. You've got to come on a motorcycle. A sick person gets really difficult. So we need to find a way of how to get them some level of medical care in that area. Now the government has got a massive infrastructure for rural health. You've got an ASHA worker in every village. You've got an Anganwadi worker in every village. And you've got an auxiliary nurse midwife for 5, 7, 10 villages depending on the population. Right. Today they maintain multiple registers where exchange of data is somewhat limited. With technology, if everyone has a smart device, and we should talk to some companies that through CSR can give these smart devices. Someone enters the data, it's immediately shared. It will improve their statistics on infant mortality, it will improve your statistics on maternal health and on malnutrition. Because the government provides those facilities. We just, either because data is not available or we just not able to use it. Right? And I would add one more thing. Today when the auxiliary nurse midwife has to go from one village to the other, a lot of times there's no bus, there's no taxi. She has to wait for someone on a motorcycle who will take her. Right? Maybe we can talk to Ola and say, give me electric scooters for these midwives so that they can travel around. And you'd be amazed, and for them, CSR, they'd be very happy if they're making money to do that. And it will make this district kind of a model for a district or even the block. A district is too large. A model for other blocks, then the district can take it over. And then that will be what the rest of the country, not just Maharashtra, will want to emulate. So I think if we have to look at solving a small problem, don't try and solve the country's problems or the state's problems. In fact, not even the district's problems. There are people here who are doing that. You look at your own problem and say, how do I solve it? How do I make myself the best in the country and probably the best in the world in doing something like this? And then make it, put the model together and help people replicate it. They'll want all your people to go out and tell them how to do it. So people from Shirpur will become the consultants to every other part of this country over time to do those things because they want to replicate. So, I really think we have to think a little, I don't know how to put it, but we've got to solve our own problems. So one more thing about trying to retain people here. My experience has been, there's a IIT organization, not for profit, that does skilling with a guarantee of jobs. What they do is they work with people like NABARD and people like that to get a loan for the person getting skilled. And then the person has to pay off the loan. So if we can do something like that and get people skilled, they will stay because they've got to pay off that loan in the place where you position them. Yes, once they paid the loan, then they go elsewhere, they've got experience, and there's no reason why they should look at their own careers. But I'll be very happy to show you that model. We are doing it in Jharkhand. We are just starting it in MP and in UP. We haven't done anything in Maharashtra, but the model, you can replicate it. You don't have to depend on party. And they are not for profit. They'll be very happy to share whatever they have. Okay.
This is great. Great, thank you. Thank you, Arjun. So, just trying to go quick kind of a summary and leading thought for the future is one, first most important thing is we have to solve our own problems. Yeah? So that is a mindset shift. कोई आके करेगा ऐसा नहीं होता. पर वो भी करने लगे तो there are other pieces that we need. And some of those got discovered. First of all is even a communication. Because what the kind of challenges we are talking about, say waste management, it is what we call a wicked problem. क्रिकेट वाला विकेट नहीं, विकेट यानी बहुत भयानक प्रॉब्लम. भयानक प्रॉब्लम का क्या होता है डिस्क्रिप्शन कि एक ही जगह एक कुछ करने जाओगे दूसरी जगह कुछ हो जाएगा उसका. तो बहुत सारे एंगल से उसको देखकर सॉल्व किए तो ही वो सॉल्व हो सकता है. एंड व्हेन यू आर इन सच विकेड प्रॉब्लम्स दे आर इकोसिस्टम प्रॉब्लम्स. बहुत सारे अपने जो प्रॉब्लम्स हो रहे, ये शब्द आपने इनविटेशन पे देखा होगा, इकोसिस्टम. बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स माइक्रो लेवल, तालुका लेवल से लेकर जो ग्लोबल लेवल पे है, दे आर बिकॉज वी डू नॉट नो हाउ टू डील विद इकोसिस्टम. तो ग्लोबल लेवल का इकोसिस्टम को डिस्टर्ब कर दिए एक ही प्रॉफिट का दिशा में जाके या सिर्फ कंजम्पशन का दिशा में जाके, तो अभी क्लाइमेट का बात हो रहा है ना. इट इज जस्ट द इकोसिस्टम ब्रेकिंग डाउन. चल रही थी वो, बट उसको हमने एक ही दिशा में ज्यादा अनबैलेंस कर दिया तो वो अभी गिरने लगा. Similar things are happening even at the local level. So most important for these wicked problems is to work in an ecosystem and be able to tackle as an ecosystem. And that's why the stakeholders in the ecosystem therefore need to connect. सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट से पूछेंगे वो नहीं कर पाएंगे क्योंकि दूसरा पार्ट इकोसिस्टम का नहीं चल रहा है. गाड़ी का 4 टायर चाहिए चलने के लिए, एक टायर पे कैसे चलाओगे सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट. Same thing with industry, academia and education. So the point we take away is we have to solve our own problems. We have to think differently, and we have to think together and take that responsibility. And one of the other things is these problems are going to take some time to solve. So अपने पास वो जिद और वो कमिटमेंट भी होनी चाहिए कि हाँ इसको 2-3 साल लग सकते हैं, बट उसमें लगे रहने के लिए सो वी हैव टू वर्क हार्ड बट आल्सो वर्क स्मार्ट, क्योंकि गलत दिशा में 3 साल भी करेंगे तो कुछ होगा नहीं. तो उसमें हमको कुछ एक्सपर्टीज चाहिए होगी, कुछ टेक्नोलॉजी चाहिए होगी जो ऑलरेडी कहीं पर किया हुआ है. सब हम अगर अपना अपना पानी चाहिए तो खोदने लगेंगे कुआ तो वेस्टफुल एफर्ट है, बट ऑलरेडी कहीं कुछ पानी अवेलेबल है वो कैसा ला सकते हैं, दैट्स द नॉलेज. सो दिस इज द इकोसिस्टम काइंड ऑफ अप्रोच फॉर सॉल्विंग द प्रॉब्लम्स. एंड लास्ट पार्ट इज लाइवलीहुड. फाइनली लोगों को जीना है. ऐसा हो नहीं सकता कि समाज सेवा कर रहे हैं और हम ये करें, कितना कर पाते हैं. फिर अपना 90% टाइम ऐसा होता है जिसमें शायद प्रॉब्लम बढ़ रहा होगा और 10% टाइम में उसको हम सॉल्व कर रहे हैं. तो अगर ऐसे मॉडल बना सके जिसमें लोगों को आजीविका भी मिले, कि देयर इज मनी आल्सो, सो देयर सस्टेनेबिलिटी फाइनेंशियली एंड एनवायरमेंटल, तो देन इट बिकम्स अ लॉन्ग टर्म सॉल्यूशन. तो ये सब एस्पेक्ट्स जो है ये अभी हमको यहाँ पर शिरपुर में करने के लिए अमरीश भाई के सपोर्ट से हमने ये NMIMS में सोबस सेंटर ऑफ एक्सेलेंस फॉर इनोवेशन एंड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप. तो ये सेंटर क्या करेगा, ये जो हम बात कर रहे हैं उसको साथ में लेके कैसे आए. बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है विच इज ग्लोबल लेवल. 100 wicked problem is 100 variables. How do you figure out which are those 5 variables that you can tackle and which can leverage the system? तो इस टाइप का इनोवेटिव सोच सबके पार्टिसिपेशन से, क्योंकि यहाँ पर there's a wealth of knowledge, सबको अपने इसमें बहुत डेप्थ है, बट इसको हमको जोड़ के, अब क्रिकेट का एग्जांपल दे तो we have to start playing as a team. We might have individual performers, many of us, but as a team we'll have to play to solve some of these issues and make it sustainably so. So that is what Sobus is wanting to do. I'm very thankful that right from the government we have the not just young officers but extremely passionate officers. Same I from academia, same I'm seeing from industry, to the extent that people like Arjun ji are therefore willing to come also. Because अगर हमें वो होगा, we have to pull the resources in. So thank you all. This is the start of a conversation, not the end of a journey. A start of the journey, and let us together now make that.
Since we talked about the climate, I just wanted to quote something I came across that a Canadian astrophysicist had mentioned. I think it's very important. It got me thinking. It says man is the most insane species. He worships an invisible God and destroys the visible nature, unaware that this nature he is destroying is the God he is worshipping. So you just think about it.
Make us introspect and go away with the energy to actually do something about it, Arjun. Thank you so much for coming down to Shirpur. Thank you, Indrajit, for coming all the way. At your age, and I know you are very young at heart, but at this age to have the commitment to go एक unknown जगह पे जिनसे इनका कुछ ऐसा लेना देना नहीं है, to come and share this. Let us bring that same commitment from us for our own place. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for coming.